Hey folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday night. It's a Saturday night, it's a warm night here in Toronto. It's been friggin' raining though for the last, I don't know, 3 days. But it's been warm, so can't complain too much. But eventually spring is going to get here, although we're supposed to be getting some snow flurries tomorrow, which is not really crazy for us. We usually get a little bit of snowfall in April. I don't remember in April that we haven't got some period of snowfall, but yeah. So hope everybody's doing well, and thanks for joining me on another Saturday hangout. Pete Brown, how you doing? Say hello. We got a few people in here. Christian Haynes, how you doing? There's Nelson. Play the 339. Nah, not today. Hey, Mitch. Welcome. There's Tyler Patterson, Pete Brown. Hope everybody's doing well. So, yeah, obviously not gigging today. We're start up next week on Saturday, playing my absolute favorite room of all time to play. So I'm always looking forward to that. Probably be using this thing because I haven't done one with this yet. So yeah, very nice guitar. Yeah, thanks, Pete. So this is I'm almost ashamed to say it's a guitar that I owned and I sold and then I had to rebuy. And I've done that a couple of times. I mentioned it a few times. People are sick of me hearing it, but I've done it with a couple of guitars. But I had a this is an Access Super Sport. It's an Ernie Ball. I had I had one before for years. It was like all kind of gloss black, and I sold it, and it's. I mean, it was stupid for me to sell because me selling that guitar probably caused me to buy, I would say, easily another 2 or 3 different guitars to try to basically get that guitar back. And you can't reinvent the wheel. So and then this sort of popped up, and I kind of always think, oh man, I got to go back to Access, but man, these are really pricey. But this one came up used, and it's absolutely mint condition, and it's like, okay, you know what? It's a guitar that I regretted selling, so I was glad to reacquire it, and been using it quite a bit. I got a song that I got coming up that I'm gonna play for you guys. Something I recorded a couple of weeks ago, and this was like probably the primary guitar on it. It was, I think, what did I use? I think I used this, and I used that one there. I think I used those two, but there you go. Thanks, Mitch, and welcome, Mitch. Yeah, sometimes you got to really think about, especially when you sell, right? It's like you don't want to regret it after you've done it and then miss it, because it never works out where you go back and get something that you're never going to replace what you lost, so to speak. I mean, it's never going to be exactly the same. Sometimes you might get lucky, and when you rebuy it, maybe you get a better one. That happened with me with a Telecaster. I had a Telecaster for years, sold it, ended up buying another one years later, but the one I got is actually better than the one I had. But that doesn't always happen. There's Tyler Patterson. Going to go see Triumph next month in Detroit. Hope Mike Levine is on stage at that time. I highly doubt it, Tyler. I don't think Mike Levine, I don't know. From what I hear, his health isn't good. If he does show up at a gig. He might maybe he'll do one song, but I can't see him playing the whole night. Probably may just show up and take a bow, maybe play one song. But yeah, I did a whole video on that. That video got a lot of views actually. So I did a video on Rush after the Junos, and that video really took off too. Sort of my thoughts on what I call just my 2 cents. Not that anybody cares or doesn't really care much. It's just my opinion on Rush doing that one song with the new lineup, so to speak. And then I did one on with Triumph, watching a bunch of videos from the first night, and I watched the second night, and people were saying, the second night they worked out a lot of the kinks from the first night, and it was a much better show and everything else, and you know, um, but both with Rush and with Triumph, what I did mention in the videos, and there's people that make rude comments on videos without even watching them, but you don't see those comments because I wipe them out. But in both cases, I said it was really smart of the bands to kind of say up front, you know what, we're gonna have somebody else. In Triumph's case, we're gonna have somebody else um, playing guitar and singing. We're gonna have somebody else playing bass and singing. We're gonna have a second drummer. They kind of told you that at the outset, and it's very when you watch that Triumph, like they very expertly did it in such a way where like the lower register stuff that could sing, Rick was singing. If Rick had to play like a complicated fill during a verse, you know, um, pardon pun, Phil would play it, and so he could focus on his singing. Rick was still playing the main solos and stuff like that, of course, right? That's all his signature stuff. He was, letting Phil X do some stuff as well, but they kind of really gauged that it's like I can do this, but I can't do that. Same with Gil Moore, right? And to beat up on these guys because they're can't do what they used to do is just asinine. I mean, these guys are in their 70s. I mean, I don't think anybody can do, most humans anyways can't do in the 70s what they used to do in their 20s and 30s. So you want to see the band, this is what it is. Don't bitch and moan and complain that they're doing it. Just don't go to the show. It's that simple, right? Regretted selling a few of mine as well, Pete. Yeah, yeah, and you never replace what you lost, right? Even for a song or two, I'll take it if you can't do. Yeah, exactly, Tyler. You get what you know. Let's turn it off. You get what you can get, right? All our in my case anyway. I don't know how old you are, Tyler, but all the bands that I grew up with, including the one on my shirt, um, they're all up there in age, and they're doing it. Hey Russell, welcome. They're out there doing it. They're doing their shows, and you're gonna go see them because you grew up with them and whatever. But for expectations, you can't expect them to do what they used to do when they were in their prime. Where I do get my um a little bit annoyed, let's say, is when you have bands that, like again in the Triumph example, Rick acknowledges what he can't do and what he can do, and he's got somebody helping him out. But where I do get sort of my back up a little bit is when these bands go out and they don't do that, and they can't sing what they used to sing, and it just sounds terrible, and they just won't admit to reality that, hey, you know what, I can't sing that, so I'm going to use a backing track to supplement my voice, or maybe I just won't sing at all. Welcome, Janice. How are you? Um, you know, that sort of gets me going, and that's why I was really not a big fan of Kiss for like the last 10 years of their career, because they were sounding horrible and it was an embarrassment, and you know, I know there was backing tracks involved, whether they admit it or not, but I'd rather them be upfront and say, hey, you know what? I got this other guy singing this part because I can't do it. I have much more respect for that than going out and being shitty. Never seen April Wine and Triumph before. Got to at least see them more than once if you can. Who knows? Yeah, exactly, Tyler. Any of these classic bands that are coming around, this is pretty much, I mean, it's a terrible thing to say, but this may be your last opportunity to see these bands, right? You know, Judas Priest, Triumph, you know. I mean, or they're going to become, you know, bands that have absolutely no original members, you know, like Foreigner, you know. And that's a whole other argument with Foreigner. It's like, we're just going to have everybody do everything because we can't do anything. So, anyways, but apparently, I understand Lou Graham's going to be singing with them in some capacity. I don't know the details, but I just sort of, you know, in the distance heard something about Lou Graham coming out and I'm doing some special shows with him. So we'll see. We'll see. Ken White, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Yes. Jason, welcome. Yeah. 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 So let me know if anything you guys want to talk about. Sort of like my monthly hangout. Just noticed this guitar I gotta raise these strings. I don't like that medley sound there. Tells me the string's a little bit too low. All our heroes are gone or going. Very true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna be almost 60, and I was digging these bands was not when I was in my teens, so they were at least 20 years older than me, 15 to 20 years older than me. So, like I said, you know, we can't do what we used to do. Are still here and putting out music on tour. Yeah, and there are some. I mean, you know, there are some examples of bands that are still, you know, sort of, I don't know, sort of breaking nature's laws and still sounding great. You know, Cheap Trick, first one that pops to mind, Robin Zander, has still got a bulletproof voice, and they still play well. And okay, you know, different drummer, but you know, Bunny's not been with them for a number of years, but they're still out there doing it and they're still performing at a high level. You know, Judas Priest be another example. You know, Rob Halford still. I mean, I haven't seen them since the Firepower when they first came out on that initial tour. So that's been a few years now, but my memory of that was that he was still sounding pretty good. Uh, what are the pickup? Okay, so thanks for the question, Ken. Yeah, so these pickups are, for my understanding, they are DiMarzios, and you can kind of see them direct mount. So these pickups, the story I read, and I think it's true. This guitar sort of was originally Eddie Van Halen's um, uh, signature model with Ernie Ball way back. And when the body shape, as much as people want to think he invented this body shape already existed. He was more, his input was more on like the um, neck shape and the electronics. And apparently they were going through a bunch of different DiMarzio pickups, and he was having pickups made specifically for this guitar. And these pickups are a DiMarzio wind that is unavailable. You can't buy these pickups. You could probably get DiMarzios that are real close. I can't remember what they said they were pretty close to, which DiMarzios they were close to, but these exact specific ones are proprietary to Ernie Ball. So yeah, and they are high output pickups, but surprisingly, you know, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, pure. It sounds stupid, but like pickup stereotypes where like you hear, oh, high output pickups, so They don't sound very good clean. These are remarkably nice sounding clean, and this model has this is the Super Sport. It's called the more common one is called the Axis, which has a um, a Floyd Rose on it, and it only has a 3-position switch. I prefer this one with the 5-position switch because you can, do all the typical pickup splitting in the middle positions and so on. And clean, this sounds really, really nice. I mean, maybe if I turned it on, see? So I'm just gonna play an A chord, and then you start splitting the pickups. And it's got some nice in between sounds. It's not just a shred guitar or a hard rock guitar, although it does that well. It does that nicely as well. Um, Jason, I saw Priest a few years ago with Queensryche opening. Great show. Yeah. Yeah. Shit. I'm trying to remember. The first time I saw Priest like on the Redeemer of Souls, and they had what's that band called now? They're the metal band, but they're kind of a jokey metal band. Somebody will know. What's that? Then they do like shtick. What's that metal band that does shtick? Oh my god, blanking on the name. Anyways, that's the band that opened for them, and I don't know who opened for them the second time I saw them. Maybe nobody opened for them. I don't know. It was at a casino. Wally. Wally is here too. Welcome, man. William, how's it going? Hey, there's Charles. Welcome, Charles. Seeing the Guess Who this summer, another band I never thought I would ever see. Burton and excuse me. Yeah, apparently they managed to legally get the name the Guess Who back, so they're actually able to call themselves the Guess Who, which is kind of funny because I mean they wrote all the big songs. I mean the big songs are really either all only Burton songs when he was with them alone, or Randy and Burton songs when they were in the band together. So Don Felder, former Eagles member, is opening the whole tour. Oh, really? That's cool. Steel Panther. Thank you, William. Yeah, I was drawing a blank there. Yeah, they opened for them. I can't remember who. If maybe there was no opening band the second time I saw them. I can't recall. Anyway, not important. Yeah, but yeah, Priest was great. I haven't been to a lot of shows. I'm at a point now where, I mean, I went to see Joe Bonamassa not too long ago, but I'm at a point now where if I can't get either really good seats, and when I don't want to be sitting miles away or like up against the side or whatever. And there's shows that I've passed me by bands that I absolutely love. And most notably, the Cult came through a while back, and by the time I found out the Cult were in town, or they weren't in town, they were playing like 2 hours north of me in a casino. But when I found out about it, I found out too late. And then when I went and looked at the seats, they were like, "Well, you're going to be sitting. If you want to sit close, you're going to be way off to the side." And I'm like, "Man, I'm going to drive 2 hours and have shitty seats. Not going to happen." So I'm getting to that point now. I don't want to stand up through a show, and I don't want to be sitting in nosebleeds. So, yeah, especially for what ticket prices are going for these days. The bass player in the Guess Who now is early Rush member Jeff Jones. Red Rider. They were from the same neighborhood if I remember my Rush history. Yeah, kind of all went to the same high school, I believe. What, he's saying hello to each other? Cool. Seeing Pat Metheny in a week and a half. Yeah, you know what? There's certain guitar players I mean, I'm always trying to get into new music, and I'm always giving stuff, you know, that's outside my wheel. I'm not one of these people that sort of close my mind. It's like, okay, this is the only music I listen to. I mean, I try to expand my horizon, so to speak. And I did try Pat Metheny, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Um, I can do Larry Carlton, no problem. I actually went to see Larry Carlton. Amazing. Didn't know half the songs, but just the musicianship and his playing and very tasty. It was great. But other artists, Pat Metheny, I couldn't get into Pat Metheny. Just like there's bands that, I'll give them a try, and maybe there's select things that I can get into, and other things I can't. And I don't know. I it's almost like for me, if you uh, if you want to give it an analogy, sort of like my musical IQ isn't high enough to appreciate a Pat Metheny. I guess that's the right terminology. That's why you watch stuff online. Yeah, Janice. You know, yeah, you're gonna drive 2 hours, man. I want good seats, and I want to be able to sit down through a whole show. I don't want to have to stand for a whole show. Like that the Rush. I mean, Rush is coming to here. I mean, they're playing a bunch of nights here, but I looked at the tickets and I'm like, you know, okay. By the time I was able to get in on it, and this was like pre-sale and all that, which really doesn't mean a lot. I mean, pre-sale it's like pre-sale is open to everybody, and okay, pre-sale, right? I'm in 300 level, and they want $500, and I'm like, I just couldn't do it. I mean, I'm gonna be sitting so far away, and I'm paying $500. I'm like, do I get to take one of Alex's guitars home? I couldn't justify it, right? You know, which is funny because when Rush was here the last time, with Neil, I had 10th row floor seats, and I joined some kind of thing to get tickets early. And even with the cost of that and everything else, I think I paid maybe, I think between $300 and $400 and for two floor seats, 10th row. So to go to that, to like, I don't know, how many years ago was that? I don't know, 2016, 2017, or whatever it was. And to go to that, from that to 10 years later, paying $500 for a single seat in the nosebleeds, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. See you. You guys are saying hello. Cool. I love to see Rush. Never have. Tickets are just too expensive. Yeah, I was just talking about that, Jason. Yeah, they're too much. They're too much. Yeah. I mean, if $500 and I'm sitting on floors, yeah, all day. But for nosebleeds, no. And Rush is, like I was saying, I mean, the Cult, Rush, they're like my top. In case of Rush, top 3 favorite bands of all time. The Cult maybe top 10. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, maybe, because as I get older, I'm more of a picky consumer, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I saw it. I mean, unfortunately, that was only the second time I saw Rush. I only seen them on the Signals tour, and they were just starting with the rear projection. It was really, really, it was like, imagine the worst 80s video game. Video quality. That's what it was. I remember when they did Red Barchetta and they had this really cheesy, but at the time it was like, wow, but that was the first time I saw them at Maple Leaf Gardens, and then, which is now the Air Canada Center, and now it's Scotia. I don't know. They keep changing their name. They're the Scotia Place or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, but and then I saw them on the last tour with Neil. Got tickets to Rush in Mexico City and San Jose. Didn't pay more than. Holy shit. Good for you, West Coast Dave. Man, I should have got you to get my tickets. That's awesome. See, for that, I'd be all over it, Dave. All over it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just set ticket prices according to the demand and maybe the location they're playing because they are a Toronto band. So maybe our tickets were fetching more money. Who knows? But I got no tickets for no shows coming up. The Joe Bonamassa show I went to see was great. I've seen Joe twice. Um, Joe's phenomenal. His band is. Unfortunately both times I got to see him with Reese Winans. And that was one of his last shows with Reese Winans. Um, and yeah, they were both phenomenal. And Josh Scott was playing with them, and Josh Scott, man, he was doing some lead breaks that were just. I hate to say it, but he kind of left Joe in the dust. I think he's a way better player, but Joe's fantastic, though. I mean, it's like better than better. I don't know. The new names, all the new names. I don't know why YouTube did that. The whole new name thing. It's like I think they're just using everybody's emails now. Annika at the Junos, yeah, man, my heart goes out to that poor lady. she's just she's just gonna get beat up 6 ways from Sunday, and for what? Because she's playing with Rush. Like, why would you get upset by that? You know, or well, I mean, people who get upset by that are people who are getting upset by the fact that Rush is gonna go out again, right? I mean, hey, they want to do it. They're still, they're still above ground. You know, they need somebody to play drums. Why would you get upset by that? Just don't go to the show. Just don't go to the show. I don't know. Why everybody's, there's this whole new, I don't know, I don't want to get into it, but the new politic of your feelings are mean more than what they actually do. Just shut the fuck up. Jay Miller, how are you? Getty's new Ricky? No. Is it a signature model, Jay? It's funny. The Rickenbacker bass, um, the band, the band that I used to be in, and the band that I'm in currently, in both cases, both bass players own Rickenbackers. And when in the previous band, when John would show up with his Ricky, and we would play, and it was just guitar, bass, drums, and a singer. I told him right off the bat, I said, dude, that's the best sounding bass you've got. There's something about a Rickenbacker that I just love. There's only two bass guitars, and all the years I've been playing in bands and that really stand out for me as like, if I was a bass player, that's what I'd want to play. One is the Ricky. The other one that really stood out was the, speaking of Ernie Ball, was the Stingray bass. Those two basses for me were like the best sounding basses. They like they made you notice the bass, right? And in the band that I'm in currently, Dave also owns a Rickenbacker, and whenever he brought it out, I'm like, dude, just play that fucking bass. Like, it's the best sounding bass. They have a sort of they have this presence, this like upper, where you can hear everything. All the notes really pop. Instead of it just being kind of a low rumble, everything is kind of like, I mean, I'm not a bass player, and I don't, but I just notice it that when I'm playing with them and I'm hearing it, like that, the bass sounds just killer. And, but for whatever reason, I don't know, they just don't play those basses. It's the only way Getty and Alex could play live again. No promoter and such would back them if it wasn't called Rush. Well, yeah, they have to call the band Rush. Yeah. Carl Thompson bass for me. What's a Carl Thompson bass? Wally deleted his channel. Wally in the Box, right? Wasn't that what you were? Your old channel? Was that Wally in the Box, Wally? Love Ricky basses and 12 strings. They sound. Yeah. You know, if I played, I've never played a Ricky 12 string, but I have played a Ricky 6 string. And you can really, it's meant, I mean, and I don't know how John Fogerty used to be able to rip solos on those guitars. And I remember the one I played, it was just, it sounded, it had that jangly thing, you know, with the chords and all of that. And it had a very curved fretboard, I remember. But really tight string tension where I could see it'd be hard to bend. But I mean, if you watch, there's a really good video. It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. Of Creedence Clearwater playing at the Royal Albert Hall, I believe. And John Fogerty is out there plays part of the set with the Rickenbacker, and he's just ripping. And I'm like, that guy. I'm thinking, man, that guy's got strings of or fingers of steel if he can rip on that thing. Q Prime Management took over Rush. They are very aggressive and probably suggested pricing the Grizz box set at $300. Oh, the Brock sets, yeah. Has anybody here listened to the new? I sat there the other day and I listened to. I mean, just on the phone, but I've got really good quality earbuds that I use. I can't have shitty sounding earbuds. Anyways, and I listened to the new mixes that Terry Brown did on that, and the guitars. What I noticed is the guitars were more present, and he did something to the vocals too. Kind of basically made him sound more like a rock band, and less of a new wave band. If that sounds, the drums, you could hear the snare a little bit better. It was more, the snare had more bottom to it. That's what I heard. It was like more bottom, more guitar, more ballsy guitars, and the vocals maybe less wet. That's what I recall from when I listened to the Terry Brown mixes. The new mixes sound good. Not worth $300. Yeah, $300 is a lot of money. Yeah. What you think of Terry Brown's? I was just talking about that, Tyler. Yeah. That was my impression. I mean, there's people that, I don't hear a difference. You know what? If you don't hear a difference, because I mean, admittedly, it's not like night and day. It's subtle, but if you play them back to back, the same cut, you will hear a difference. Okay, if you've got, I mean, if you're listening to them on your phone, okay, but if you got like a good set of headphones or something, where you can actually hear all the information, all the frequencies, you will hear a difference. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, they're all in. Excuse me. You can listen to them all on YouTube. Yeah, yeah, they're all on YouTube. No, I wouldn't like $300. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit steep. I don't really do the box set thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been tempted a lot. Like Kiss has been putting out some amazing shit. The Dress to Kill one with all the, all the different live shows and and some unreleased Mistake, that unreleased song, which is really cool. It's like them trying to sound like a country rock band or something. That's a really cool song, Mistake. If you haven't heard it. But yeah, I don't know, like, just because I know it's the type of thing that I get it, I'd look at it, I'd open it up, and then I'd close it. I'd probably never look at it again, right? I mean, I've got the old box set that they put out years and years ago, and I don't think it's been years since I've opened that up. I'm at a point now where I don't want to, I don't want to acquire stuff. I have too much stuff. I don't want any more stuff, especially if I know that it's just going to be stuff that's just going to sit and take up space. If I'm actively using it, like a guitar, okay, I'm a sucker for a guitar, obviously, but just stuff, even books. I mean, I'll buy the odd book. Martin puts out some good stuff, but even books, it's like, okay, I really don't need that book. Or I'll just read it and sell it. Instead of, because rarely do I go back and read a book a second time. You're still walling the box, and you're still in the box. Just in on a little trouble with you. Oh, Wally, what'd you do? Come on, spit it out. You gotta tell me. Come on. Uh, some of those songs that Terry mixed would fit on Signals, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Do like the Jethro Tull book sets? They're worth the price to me. Yeah, I mean, if it's stuff that if you're into it and if you look at it once and then stick it on a shelf, then that's a whole different story. I thought that too. He made Grace sound more like Signals. I would love to hear remixes of Permanent Waves. Really? I think Permanent Waves sounds pretty cool. Maybe try and make those, like Power Windows and Presto and Roll the Bones. Maybe try and make those sound a little heavier, even though the material doesn't lend itself. I don't know. 80s Rush has really grown on me over the years, even Presto. Really can. I can't do. I mean, that's sort of the black hole for the whole. Um, that's sort of the black hole for me for Rush, really. You know, I think Grace is still. I'm good right to Grace, and then there's a break there for a few records. Power Windows would be the next one. Oh, and you see, oh, when you said PW, you meant Power Windows, not Permanent Waves. Okay. There's two PWs. Yeah, because Permanent Waves is great. I mean, you know what? Rush with Terry Brown was like the Beatles for me. Rush with Terry Brown was like the Beatles with George Martin. They just found the right guy who made them sound great, for all those years. And I've read a lot of stuff, a lot of Rush stuff, and they just wanted to try somebody different. They had that familiarity with them, and I guess maybe they were, you know, maybe starting to, rub the wrong way, and they wanted to try somebody different. But those records that he did with them was just, they all sound fantastic. You know, I mean, and you're looking at how many records of the 70s sounded as good as, like, Farewell to Kings or um, Hemispheres. Like, they just sounded amazing. I mean, some of the 70s productions were pretty bad, but some of them were really, really good. Like the Kiss stuff sounded horrible, but the Aerosmith stuff sounded great. The Thin Lizzy stuff sounded pretty good. Yeah, it's like the early Judas Priest, like Sad Wings of Destiny. What a great record! What terrible sound. It's just, yeah. You know, it's funny. Some if you had the right producer and the right studio, you know, because it's like those first generation bands that had heavy guitars. Some guys knew how to record it. Some studios knew how to produce those sounds, and some just didn't back in the day. You know. Power Windows. Yeah, I can't do Power Windows. Then Hold Your Fire is another one. Well, time's flying. 40 minutes in. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Always a great discussion. I If you're new to the channel, I think most of you people are already sub, but if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. It's a little engine that could here. I think we just cracked like 5480, like 5500 be cool, not too far away. 17 as of before I started this, so I don't know. Maybe it might have gone down since. Who knows? Listen to Presto again. Fresh ears. Yeah, I can. Yeah, you could have a point, man. Yeah. Fresh ears sometimes, you know. Oh, should mention while I have you all in here. Oh, thanks, Charles. Appreciate it. While I have you all in here, a week this coming Thursday, we're doing our monthly show with Martin Popoff, and we've got Grant Arthur from Grant's Warehouse, and also Contrarians are going to come on and give you guys the preview. We're going to be doing a Devo show. Are we not men? We are Devo. So check that show out. That's coming out on Thursday. That's our monthly show. Yeah, it's sort of along the same lines. You know, we're all missing Pete, but Pete's back. Pete's doing videos again. You know, God bless. And we hope to see him in this full capacity here in a few months. I'd love to have him back on. And yeah, but he's starting to do stuff. So yeah, go support Pete and see Tranquility. They're still running. And it's good to see him back in business. Right on, Devo, yeah. There's a band, eh? Like, when they came out. Alright. I mean, I'll talk about this more on the show, but, and I still remember being at my buddy's place, and he's got this record, puts it on, and it's really weird and quirky and whatever. And, shit, how old would I have been, like 12, or when did we not met? Is that 78? I think it came out in 78. But it wasn't 78 when we heard it. It was like 79. Would have been 79 or 80. Probably 80 was when I heard it. But anyways, and listening to that stuff was just, it was weird and quirky, but damn was it good. Fuck, it was good. It was real. Like, their remake of Satisfaction is one of the best, hands down, remakes of any song you've ever heard. There's where they took a song and made it their own. Like, I mean, apart from the lyrical content and that one riff that gets thrown in, it's like, it's their song, you know. They totally devoted it, you know. But yeah, they had an interesting career, you know. And that whole band wasn't really a band. It was an art project that became a band. So, but we'll talk. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I've been in Devo mode for the last, getting ready for the show for the last few weeks. So went back and listened to their whole catalog, and we're just doing a top 5. They only got 9 records up. We're doing the top 5. West Coast Day is going to check it out. Yeah, it should be a cool show. Yeah, you're going to say that about Satisfaction? Yeah. And I remember seeing them do that on Saturday Night Live, and them like moving like robots and stuff. Fuck, that was cool. I thought they were so cool, you know. At that age, man, I was right into, I mean, you know, I love the music, but I love the image too. That sort of, I know a concept what the hell Devo meant and de-evolution, and, you know, I mean, you know, I'm a kid, right? You know, but just the finished product of what you're saying is like, holy shit, this is really cool shit, man. Yeah, Akron, Ohio. Oh, really, Ken? You're in that area. Cool. Yeah, weird but cool, man. Like, they got some really good songs. Blockhead is another one of my favorite Devo songs. I love Blockhead. The riffs are just you know, and then they started, I love, okay, I'm doing the show early, but last thing I'm going to say about it. I love when they had the blend of the guitars and the keyboards, and Mark the weird sounds he was getting with the keyboard. It was just a nice blend. And then they went sort of full keyboard, and they kind of lost me there later records. But they kind of brought the guitars back now and again. But that blend, man, and those riffs were just really fucking cool. Yeah, SNL was classic. And then they were on. If you remember, this will show your age. If you remember the competitor to Saturday Night Live on ABC, which was a show called Fridays, they were on Fridays as well. I think Fridays was later on though. What they were on what record? I think they were on the second record when they did Fridays, because I think they did "Girl You Want" on that one. I think. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah. But you know, that's the great thing about YouTube, man. You can find all this shit on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. It's all there. Yeah, it's all good stuff. Saw Devo Lollapalooza, 96. They were a mystery act? They weren't announced? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and they got together. They did, I think they played like a Winter Olympics or something. I don't know. I don't know. But they were very misunderstood. People didn't understand what they were up to. Some of the messages in their lyrics and their outfits and everything else. The whole de-evolution thing, people didn't get. But cool band, very cool original band. Can't say they weren't original. Well, the Rock Hall of Fame is full of crap. Nice that Iron Maiden. Yeah, if Iron Maiden finally got in. Yep. Yes, they did. Yeah. And Oasis got in. Oasis. Yeah. Not that I have a problem with Oasis, but it's like, you could think of a lot of bands before Oasis that, you know. But I think that whole rock and roll, I think where they went wrong is they called it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They just should have called it the Music Hall of Fame, because it's, not that Oasis isn't a rock band, they are, but there's a lot of acts they have in there that you would definitely not consider rock that are in there, but are just not, great musicians and deserve to be in there, but maybe not in a rock sense, but in other senses. So I think that rock part is a real misnomer. Devo and Soundgarden. There's a crazy mix, eh? See a show with those two bands in it? Yeah. Hey, Dwight, how are you, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So I got a song here that I want to play for you folks. She put out 2 weeks ago, but I didn't really make a big deal about it, and it's only, I think, got 100 views or something. But I just came up with a bunch of riffs that were pretty heavy. So as a result, I just called the song Metal, and it's got a video that goes with it, and I got a copyright claim on the video because I stole all the footage from a movie called Pacific Rim. But the video is pretty appropriate for the music because the music is kind of heavy and it's called metal. So I'm gonna play that for you now. Play that video. Check out this song. It's got some really cool riffs on it. Features this guitar and that one. And then I'll see you all back here in a few. So put on your hard hats and get ready for some metal, folks. Here it comes. So there you go, folks. That was metal. Hope you dug that. I've got probably at this point probably 30 tracks on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, any music service. Just type in Guitar Hack and all my original songs come up. So a lot of them are heavy. So some rock and roll stuff in there. Got some more mellow stuff in there. Good mix of music. That would all be much appreciated. Go ahead and check that stuff out. Um, did I make the video with AI? No, that is, as I mentioned before, I I basically ripped off the movie. I think it's called Pacific Rim, and I just took a bunch of video clips from that because I mean the music is kind of heavy and whatever, and I thought those visuals kind of worked well with the riffage. So yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Great solo. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Wally. Appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, there's actually I'll be recording again probably another couple of weeks. I got another tune, more of a rock and roll kind of, I don't know, Black Crows kind of riffage, right? Little Cinderella-ish coming up. Yeah, but there's the riff. Thank you, William. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I came up. It's weird. You sit down and to play, and sometimes you come up with all these riffs, and it's like, man, I got all these friggin' riffs. And you string them all together, and it's like, okay, that kind of makes a tune. Yeah, let's put that all together and see if we can come up with something, and that's where metal came from. So, but yeah, go check out, please. If you wouldn't mind, check out my original songs. Like I said, on all the streaming services, appreciate that. Been a while since I caught you live. Hey, John, how are you, man? Hope you're doing well. Heck, you need a CD release for all those tracks. Good stuff. Thank you, Ken. There's really no point in a CD. Everybody streams now, anyways. So, yeah, you can go and go to your Spotify or whatever and make Guitar Hack. What are they? Playlist, I guess that's a term. Yeah, playlist. Yeah, pick out the ones you like and listen to them on repeat. I use DistroKid, and they post all my music on all these streaming services, and then once a month I get a report. You had 3 listeners this month. I'm like, wow. A big month for me. I think I had 5. so yeah, go listen to my stuff on those streaming services, and maybe I'll hit 6. You know what? I do it for fun, obviously. Obviously, I enjoy writing music, enjoy playing music. Jam with these guys this week, which is kind of funny. Sort of like a ragtag group of people that get together once in a while. Sort of like a pickup hockey game, but for musicians. And played songs I'd never played before. And they need somebody to do lead guitar. And so, like, okay, just point at me when you want me to play something, and that was a lot of fun. Love playing guitar, man. That's why it's called Guitar Hack, because I love doing it, even though I'm not that great at it. All right, well, we're at the hour, so let me know if anybody's got any last-minute comments or things they want to mention. Don't forget, on Thursday night, 8 p.m., got the show with Martin and Grant, and we're going to be doing Devo, so go check that out. I'll give your discography a spin today. Listen. Oh, I appreciate that, John. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're doing that Devo show on Thursday with Grant and and Martin. It should be fun. If you're a Devo fan, check it out. See how our lists compare to yours. And the other sort of benefit, or not benefit, but the other thing that I hope comes from some of these shows is maybe talking about bands that sort of, passed you by for whatever reason. You didn't really listen to them, at their in their heyday, because there's always, life and, a lot of bands moving through and that sort of thing, and you don't pick up on everything. And hey, maybe get you listening to some Devo, because there's some really good stuff in that catalog, I'll tell you. Really good stuff. A lot of people who don't play think everyone that plays wants to be a rock star. They don't get that some of us just love to play. Oh, I gave up the rock star dream when I was in my 20s. Everybody, I'll be honest, like, honestly, for me, wanting to play guitar was because I loved it, but it's sort of like it's sort of wanting to play guitar, but to play guitar in a band and to perform. And so for me, the goal was always to be able to play well enough that I could play songs in front of people. That was sort of for me the goal. So, for me, my success is being able to go into a bar or a club that I'm playing, for example, next Saturday, walking in there and playing and entertaining folks and being, you know, efficient enough a musician, let's call it, or passable enough that I can play the songs to a decent degree and entertain the folks. That for me was sort of the goal, you know. Never, and I've reached that goal, thank God, right? And the other part of it is, which sort of came after, is like, I just like making stuff up, and recording stuff. And then that sort of opens up a whole other thing. Well, your sort of imagination and musically what you can do and stuff. And then, you sort of take all the stuff that you hear. A lot of the stuff that I come up with is stuff that I've been listening to that influences what I'm doing. Like, I mean, there was a period I was listening to a lot of Black Sabbath, and I came up with this track called Black Holiday, which is very much, it's like the Tony riff that Tony didn't write, Not to say it's as good as Tony's, but it's in that vein. So it's just, I love writing stuff. I love composing stuff, for my own benefit. I dig it. If somebody else digs it, that's cool, but I'm just doing it because I love doing it. So there's that, and there's the playing in bands and performing. And even if I'm not performing, I just like playing with people, playing off of people and the vibe and just the guitar through the amp and pushing air and all that kind of stuff. That's what I really dig. Yeah. And house stuff. Yeah. Devo was a family favorite. Cool. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you being here, man. Playing live. Yeah, it's the ultimate high. Yeah. Yeah. When you get a good batch of people and they're having a good time, and, when they're walking out the door and they're giving you a tap on the back, thanks for the night or whatever, that's the best. Hey, Wayne. Dude, you came in and I'm shutting her down. But appreciate you making the effort, buddy. Thanks for being here. You're a great fucking player. Hack yourself the credit. Betancourt is a great player, William. That's a great player. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. You guys made this a fun night. Hopefully you guys had some fun. And we'll catch you on the next monthly hangout. But again, check out the Thursday show, Devo. Go check out my original music. Any streaming service, just do a search on Guitar Hack, and that's it. What's the live amp of choice? Last thing I'm going to answer before we got to go here. What's the live amp of choice? Lately, the Marshall. Nothing special, just a good old DSL 40. Yeah, that's I'm on my third one. I've burned through two of them. That's the third one. So there you go. All right, folks, take care. Have a great night. A great rest of your weekend. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.